Good, good. I believe we are recording now, so good. All right, hello everybody. I just wanted to introduce my two guests for today. We have Roland Anderson up there in the upper left. Down in the bottom center is Jeremy Morales. Roland is the founder of a company called Prytech, who builds the UniLyft machinery in Sweden. And so we're glad to have you, Roland, on as part of this little interview. And then we have Jeremy Morales, who is one of the early adopters of UniLyft and has been able to do some remarkable things out in the field with this machine. So maybe just to get the ball rolling right away. So I found out about the UniLyft a number of years ago. I was actually Googling and I came across a very small website and had this little strange looking machine that you see behind me here, except it was in blue. And it was a cool machine. And I watched a video on it. And so I convinced my Unilock group that I should go to Sweden and test drive this machine. And one of the reasons that Unilock is so interested in this machine is because we recognize the potential of industry growth, and we know that the labor market's shrinking, and we know we want to get more product in the ground. There's just not enough labor. So we looked at this as a possible option that we wanted to share with our customers. Roland, can you give me a little bit of history of the UniLyft in Europe, how long you've been selling it, what countries, what's the furthest country that you ever sold UniLyft to?
We have been working with paving machines since late 80s, but it never took off in 90s. So we decided not to build machines for paving. So we started with industry, or we continue with industry actually, because that's our background. And in the early 20s, 03 or 04, we got old customers asking again, and we got in contact with a German company called Optimus, and we start collaborate with them 2006, 2007, something like that. So we have been producing quite many, and I know we are selling machine all over the world via Optimus because they have dealers in 40 countries. So Argentina and China, I know we sold machines to.
I heard there was somebody inquiring in Iceland too, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, we sold one machine to Iceland too.
Yeah. So their pavers are made from ice, I think.
Probably.
So Roland, just one other quick question. What type of industries other than the hardscape industry do you sell your lifting equipment to?
All kind of industry where you have lifting. Automotive is quite big for us, and we're selling when you have sacks, cartons, sheet metal, wooden sheets, and whatever.
Okay, good. So Jeremy, perhaps if you don't mind just telling me a little bit about Morales Masonry, just in a couple of sentences, and how many employees you have and how you found out about this UniLyft machine.
Great, thanks. Thanks for having me here. Morales Masonry is a small company, a small family-owned company. We run a crew of 4 guys, including myself, and we do pretty much all residential, a little bit of commercial installs, paving, concrete, and masonry work. And how we found out about UniLyft was we have a quite big job that we had to install, and that we needed to install, and it was bigger slabs. It was 𝐠𝐫𝐞𝐴, I remember. and it was 150 pounds each slab. So as you know, it would require a lot of manpower to install 42 pallets by hand, and almost pretty much impossible to do it by hand. So I saw the UniLyft on one of my territorial managers, Tim Adams. He sent me a video, and he's like, "This might be something you might it might help you on this job." And I was like, "I think this is the perfect tool I need for this job." And he brought it one time for a demo. I remember it was still snowing, and it was a big pull job, and we used it. We installed probably, like, I would say, like 18 bundles in one day, approximately, the first time we used it. So, I'm sorry, it was 12 bundles the first time we used it. And I mean, seeing the amount of production and you know, effortless, pretty much, I was amazed by it. And I was like, since that moment, I was like, I need to have one of these. This is not a brainer. And that's how I actually got my hands into one.
So, Roland, you know, when I know I visited you in Sweden, and you took me to a job site, and also of a contractor who tried it for the very first time, and he was doing a commercial job, and I remember the look on his face when we told him that there is a double head available, and he was using only the single head. And even with the single head, he was putting in 16 by 16 square pavers, 10 centimeters thick, and he was still putting in 1,500 square feet or 150 square meters per day. And when I said, "Oh, why aren't you using the double head?" and he said, "A double head? I didn't know there was one available." So you know, I think that could have doubled his production. So, Roland, tell me a little bit about heads, because heads are, like, our products are so unique at Unilock, and we have so many different shapes and pallet configurations. Maybe just kind of explain to our listeners, you know, how you go about, you know, making custom heads.
Every country has their own type of production of stone types, and the layer is different. So we make new heads almost every week. We have hundreds of different heads in our catalog of heads, and for us it's quite easy to make new heads. We don't need to invent the wheel. It's just moving pieces around, and we try to find the right pattern.
Excellent. So, Jeremy, maybe I know, for example, you know, we talk a lot about putting paving stones in, but I think you kind of started the ball rolling with that. I need a head for lifting retaining wall blocks, in particular the 𝐠𝐫𝐞 or Concord XLs. And so, tell me a little bit about the first time you used that.
Yes, well, actually, you know, we do on our area, we have a lot of hills and a lot of retaining walls, you know, dry stack retaining walls. We always have been using 𝐸𝐸, but we were always like more push for the small version of the 𝐸𝐸, which is like 8 inches by 12, I think, by 6 high. So when the XL unit came up for 𝐸𝐸, I was like, we start selling those a lot, and especially in retaining walls. And, you know, I was like, we have this piece of equipment, and we do pretty much a lot of different type of pavers. Why not do walls? And that's why, you know, when I get in touch with you and Roland, and the first time that we got the single head, I mean, it was pretty amazing. I was like, you know, this is great. 75 pounds, effortless, going into a wall, you know, 42 pallets or 28 pallets. I mean, that's priceless. You know, your arms won't get scratched up. You will be more efficient, and, you know, you keep all you guys happy. That's the main goal.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you kind of pushed us to consider making the double head for these walls, to be able to pick up what 150 pounds each time, a single, in a single lift.
Yes, I was surprised with the single head, but when we got the double head, I was like, this is it. It was like, it was amazing. It was double production. It was like everybody, that saw the seats when we install in those type of walls, they go like, that's amazing. It's like, it's like, it's very efficient. You're not picking, by hand, which, I mean, it's, I think pretty much everything in few years is going to go mechanical. I don't think anybody will be installing by hand, or maybe a few, but the industry is going towards that point, which is very exciting because, 10 years ago, we never had that. We never had, 15 years ago, we never had an excavator. We were digging by hand. We were doing it was like, it's so amazing how the industry has evolved and it's going towards the right directions. And I think this year is like, one of the proof that our industry is going to grow really quick and fast, because as you know, this year has been one of the most installs that we have been doing.
Mm-hmm. Roland, has you mentioned that you have these units all around Europe and even in Argentina, etc. How have you found, like, this has been an interesting year, 2020? How have you found the demand as far as on the European side of things? We know it's really ramping up in the United States, but how is it ramping in Europe?
It has been quite good year, even if we have this COVID-19. But not we thought last year we had the growth with 37% in our production, and this year we are more or less the same, but we were expecting maybe 20-25% more for this year. But we are happy. It's been a good year, and there is lot of things going on. So as soon as we can come back to normal again, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree. I was really excited to know that you added to your production facilities, so you have the ability to have a good output of these machines going forward. That was really exciting, and maybe you can also tell our listeners about your most recent change in New York.
Yeah, we have a new warehouse in Wappingers Falls, and Jeremy has helped us a lot because we can't go there. We haven't even seen it yet, so we are a little bit shooting from our hips with this, but we need a better and bigger place for storing the machines.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think the big advantage, to anybody that's listening or considering the UniLyft, quite often when you think about needing a machine, it's because you have a job in mind. And then, you get told, oh, it takes 12, 14 weeks before you get the machine. All of a sudden, the luster is gone, right? The urgency is gone because there's no machine ready for that particular job. And we know that in only, half a dozen jobs, the machine could pay for itself. So, but I think now having this inventory in the state of New York readily available, I think that is going to be really, really good for 2021.
Yeah, and we know it's in Europe also. There is nobody expect a delivery time for 8 to 10 to 12 weeks. So we have customer who phoned me a Friday evening and he got the machine on Monday morning, and that's how it goes in this business. It's they have a job and they need something.
Yeah.
So we always try to have at least most of the part in stock so we can deliver in 2 weeks here in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy, I just wanted to ask you a question about You know, we talked about the obviously the wall lifting unit. We talked about, you know, moving large pavers. And have you discovered any other uses that you say, oh, you know, this came in handy for this, or it came in handy for that?
Definitely, definitely. What we seen a lot is we do a lot of masonry. So we have a lot of concrete bags, 50 pounds, 80 pounds concrete bags, and we easily lift it with the UniLyft and bring it, like, you know, to the area we are working on. Natural stone too, but pretty much it picks everything, pretty much everything. Like what was this? We used it one time for actually plywood. We were running. We put it on top of the grass, so you know, like a pouch to go to the job, you know, on the area that we were working on it, and it worked pretty good. Like we were just like picking them up from the skid steer, because, you know, my unit, I had the model piece, so it has the forks. So I put the plywood on top of it, and then just picking it with that and put them on. It was so simple and easy, and you know, it's just, I think it's very versatile. The thing is, you have to open your mind, because sometimes you are so used to, like, oh no, this machine is just for pavers. So you can, you know, you don't think about lifting other materials than pavers. So we kind of, like, you know, start like open mind and see what else we can do, because it's a very versatile machine. You can pick up, you know, a lot of stuff with it.
So Jeremy, you know, we have a number of different models. I got this one that's behind me, the L model, and then the model that you have behind you is the PM model.
P model.
Oh, P model. Yes, thanks. Yeah. It's always good to have the expert in the room here. The P model, and I think, Jeremy, you've also tested the PM, which is the sort of like what we call the wide track. You've tried that machine out. If you were to like do it over again, or if you were to recommend something, do you have any kind of points or suggestions for somebody looking at a machine, which type that they should order?
Well, definitely, I think I did the right choice going with the Model P, because particularly on my case, that's the thing, you know, everybody had to see how they doing on the company. But on my case, it was like I was purchasing a skid steer, so, you know, I couldn't afford the two big pieces of equipment at the same time. So that's why pretty much pushed me to the Model P. But in the other hand, there's a lot of things that I can do with all the models. You know, it doesn't have any disadvantage or anything like that. I think it has a little bit more advantage than some of the models, because I can lift the pallet with the skid steer. I can go higher than 4 feet. So it's a really great unit. But on some of our cases, it's my skid steer is 6 foot wide, so sometimes I can fit it on tight spaces. So that's what it's been, you know, and it's really hard when we find a job like that, because we can fit the machine. So for that reason, I think the narrow tracks model will be best suitable for those kind of spaces. That's I think something you have to consider. What do you have on your area more? You have open wide areas that you can fit, you know, big equipment. You know, the two big models had like 6 foot wide tracks. So that's what you have to consider. And if you are on the small areas that you have tight gates, like, you know, 4 feet gates, the model narrow tracks will be the perfect option. So, but that's my next model, actually.
So Roland, do you have any comments in terms of the you know, the different types of models?
We also have a new machine, the Mini P. It's the model Jeremy has, but a smaller one without the fork functions. You can't carry the weight with you, but you can put it on really small machines.
Oh, so it's like a Bobcat MT85 or a ditch witch.
Yeah, exactly, or an excavator. You can have it
right
on excavators also.
Okay.
In Europe, you have a lot of small loaders they are for 4,000 pound, and that's one of the reason we build it also.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yeah, and certainly that would be lighter and easier to more portability. You almost don't need an extra trailer. If you already got a trailer for your little mini loader, then you can just put that on the same trailer and go to the job site.
Yeah, it's an extra attachment for a smaller machine. Yeah.
Yeah. So in comparison to some of the other suction machines that are out there, Roland, what would you say would be the UniLyft's biggest strength in terms of advantage for a contractor?
It's the movable weight. It's our machine is really lightweight on the arm and the crane and that kind of stuff. So you don't carry around much more extra than the weight of the stone. So
Right.
that's our biggest, and that's come from the automotive business. We have learned a lot when we've been working there, because this is very important when you're doing the same job day out and day in.
Yeah, I was really surprised to learn the unit behind me, the L unit, was only 1,600 pounds, and I know they used this unit to do a roof deck on a building in Nova Scotia. They took a crane and craned the entire UniLyft right up onto the roof of this high rise to install all the pavers on pedestals. And if you've ever had any experience with pedestal pavers, they always take a little bit of adjustment as you go. And the UniLyft was like perfect, because you could lift it up 3 inches, make an adjustment to a pedestal, and then put it back down again. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Roland and Ray, that's one of the biggest advantage of the UniLyft. I think you can operate it with one person on it. That's really huge. Like pretty much all the products can be one operator, and the UniLyft, you don't need like a lot of different products. You need 2 operators, like one on the machine and the other one on the front. So I think that's the biggest advantage of that unit as well.
Yeah. So finally, Roland, maybe you could just tell our viewers a little bit about what the warranty is on the machine, on the engine. I think you have a separate warranty for the engine and the machine. Maybe you could kind of spell that out, how that is.
Yeah, we have. It's depending on which engine we are using. We have different engines on different models. So
yeah, let's say the Honda engine on the L.
Yeah, the L machine is a Honda engine, and we have the same warranty, of course, as Honda has. I don't know exactly, because I'm not so involved with that from our side. I need to check with our guys about that. And
yeah,
normally it's 1 year warranty on the machine and on everything except wear and tear parts, of course.
Right, filters and poked holes in the hoses.
Yeah.
I think, every piece of machinery, can have its problem, but I have found, over the past 3 years, most of anything that can happen on these machines is usually pretty straightforward. And there are things such as like the hoses and so on that can even be temporarily repaired out in the field with some duct tape if you were to drive it into a tree branch or something like that. So, and I know
on my personal experience, Ray, if you want me to mention, it's like I've been having my unit for almost 3 years, and besides use wear and tear parts, like very easy to maintain, air filters, that kind of stuff. I haven't have any problem at all. The vacuum always work. I hook it up and turns it on, and it's always very reliable. And in the 3 seasons I've been using it, I never had any issues. So that speaks a lot to me, especially when you need it to be there.
So finally, in closing, Jeremy, Um, can you tell me, is this machine easy to learn, hard to learn? Any advice you give, like if you have a new guy that starts with you and he's been only with you 3 days, will he be able to know how to operate this machine? How long does it take?
Yeah, it's pretty much back and forward. Like after, I would say what it takes maybe a few minutes to show the new guy or any other guy is just how to start it, how to set it up, and after that it's pretty much just lifting it and one lever on one hand and then just guiding it. It's very simple. All the guys that I have, they are, they love it. I wish I could have many more so everybody has one. But it's very simple, very easy, and like any other type of equipment, you obviously need time to learn how to set it up on the most efficient way for the machine to operate better. That took me a little bit of time to learn, but it's like you learn it as you go. Like what is the best place to set it, how am I gonna do this area, like those kind of things are very important for you to find out what is the most efficient way. That way you're gonna get every little thing out of the piece of equipment. And that's how, that's why being so efficient. Like a lot of guys are like, oh, every time I trying to think what's the best way, how can I do it faster, efficient and safe, in the safest way. But and every time we learn something new with it, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I believe that. Every time I see a post from you on Instagram, I see you doing something a little bit differently, whether it's with a wall or with a paver. And one of the things that amazed me was when you were lifting these 150-pound slabs over a pool edge, and so that you could mark it and then move it away from the pool edge again to do your cut and then put it back into place. I mean, I don't think you could ever do that by hand, and not be frustrated after 3 slabs. So
yeah, right, especially when you don't put a border on the edge of the pool coping, and then you have to have you cut perfectly right on the curved part. You bring the piece, you put it next to it, mark it right on top, bring it out, cut and put it back in there. That was priceless for me, and that was actually I think that was like the second time I used the unit, and that was like, it amazed me. I was like,
yeah, no, that's great. So just wanted to mention to our listeners that if they want to learn more about UniLyft, they can go to our website, unilock.com/UniLyft. They can go there, and there's some other videos as well on there. Lots on Instagram if you just search #UniLyft. And remember, lift is with a Y, spelled with a Y. And so you can go there and, watch all the productivity with these machines.
yeah.
Roland, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, Jeremy, go ahead.
I was gonna mention, Ray, is like we see them more and more. They pop in more and more. Like every time I follow the #UniLyft, it's like a lot of guys are using them, buying it, and it's like you kind of see them, like, especially with me, I was like one of the first one that got them, so I couldn't see a lot of difference. So a lot of heads think different. So it's pretty cool when you look at on Instagram, especially.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Roland, do you have any other things that popped in your mind that you wanted to share?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it was certainly, I know with Unilock, our partnership with you, we value very highly. And I think we've earned a mutual respect and understanding. And I think we kind of understand where each other is going. And we really enjoy the responsiveness that we have from you, whether it's designing a new head or inventing something new. You're definitely, you're not just putting out machines for the sake of machines. You're always looking to improve on the model every time. So we really appreciate that from Unilock and from the contractor's perspective too.
Definitely.
So. Yeah, we tried to do that, and thank you very much. We have had a good relationship with you, and we believe in the US market's going to be huge. I think it's this kind of equipment is coming.
Yeah, I know. We have a new dealer on the West Coast of United States in California, and they are also very interested in this machine. So it's kind of interesting because on the West Coast they're still putting in a lot of what we call 6x6 or 6x9s that are very small pavers. So getting into this larger format is really intriguing for many of them, and but you definitely need a machine. So I call it the employee keeper and the employee attractor. So
up on Monday and never gets tired.
that's right. Never has a hangover. All right, thanks, gentlemen. I really, really appreciate your time. Again, I know it's already nighttime in Sweden for you, Roland. So thank you for joining us. And
no problem.
Thank you, Ray, for having us. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, nice seeing you guys too. And we wish you all the best as you finish up the rest of the season between now and Christmas, Jeremy.
Thank you, you guys as well.
All right, we'll see you later, Roland.
Yeah, see you
Soon
too.
again.
See you.
All right, thanks everybody.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.